Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Under Nick Aldis management, the latest episode of WWE SmackDown saw substantial headway in the build-up to Elimination Chamber 2025. However, during the show, Jacob Fatu once again became a primary highlight due to his exchange with Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. In addition, Jacob and Tama Tonga were involved in a backstage segment where the Samoan Werewolf attacked a WWE official. This motion by the new Bloodline member raises the prospect that Aldis might punish Jacob Fatu for his actions. Fatu is set to face Damian Priest and Braun Strowman in an Elimination Chamber qualifying match tonight. This implies that he won't be banned or removed from the arena. However, Aldis could penalize Fatu by charging a hefty fine on him, deducting a considerable amount as punishment for his actions. Nick Aldis has been characterized as one of the boldest general managers in recent WWE history, so it wouldn't be surprising if he took action against the Samoan Werewolf to regain control of the blue brand and maintain order. It will be intriguing to see how the storyline unfolds on SmackDown as we inch closer to the Elimination Chamber Premium Live event. This isn't the first time Jacob Fatu has reacted aggressively on Friday Night SmackDown and attacked WWE officials. Previously, fans have seen the new Bloodline member follow the same approach, yet Nick Aldis has yet to take any action against him. Besides imposing a fine and potentially punishing him financially, the National Treasure could take stricter measures by issuing a warning and suspending the Samoan Werewolf from SmackDown at least until Elimination Chamber 2025. This would ensure that Jacob doesn't attack anyone else during that time, while also protecting backstage officials. It could serve as a first warning, with Aldis making it clear that any further actions could result in longer suspensions. Additionally, the SmackDown general manager could personally confront Jacob Fatu in an upcoming episode of the Blue Brand, warning him about the consequences of his actions. These developments would not only solidify the Samoan Werewolf's status as a dominant force, but also reinforce the fact that Nick Aldis has zero tolerance for such behavior under his leadership. Ultimately, it remains to be seen how this situation will unfold in the ongoing Bloodline saga and whether Aldis will decide to punish Jacob Fatu for his actions. The Bloodline has been a force of chaos in WWE for years, but their recent actions on SmackDown may have just crossed the line. Now, SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis may be forced to take serious action, and a major Bloodline member could be in deep trouble. With Solo Sikoa asserting his dominance, Jacob Fatu's uncontrollable aggression, and Tama Tonga growing frustrated, the Bloodline is looking more dangerous and unstable than ever. But when their recklessness spilled into SmackDown's main event this week, Aldis was left with no choice but to consider handing down a major punishment. Will Aldis finally put his foot down and punish a Bloodline member? Or will the Bloodline prove once again that no one can control them? Let's analyze what went down and what could happen next. The February 16th episode of SmackDown was supposed to be a statement night for the Bloodline, with Solo Sikoa leading his faction into battle. But things didn't go as planned. The incident that might get someone punished. Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga were booked in a huge six-man tag team match against LA Knight, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton. The match was brutal, with all six men throwing everything they had at each other. But as the match neared its climax, things got out of control. Jacob Fatu ignored Solo Sikoa's call for a tag and started demolishing the opposition on his own. Tama Tonga, meanwhile, looked frustrated and hesitant, as if he wasn't sure if he wanted to follow Solo's orders anymore. Then, in a shocking moment, Jacob Fatu snapped and launched Kevin Owens through the announce table with a brutal Samoan drop, completely ignoring the referee's orders. Nick Aldis stormed down to ringside, yelling at the Bloodline to back off. The distraction allowed LA Knight to capitalize, hitting Solo Sikoa with the BFT and securing the victory. After the match, Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa nearly came to blows in the ring, with Tama Tonga standing off to the side, clearly conflicted. As SmackDown went off the air, Nick Aldis was seen shaking his head, muttering something to an official backstage. Could this mean punishment is coming for the Bloodline? There's no doubt that Nick Aldis is furious about the Bloodline's actions, but the question is, who will face the consequences? 1. Jacob Fatu, the loose cannon. If anyone deserves to be punished, it's Jacob Fatu. He ignored Solo Sikoa's orders. He disregarded the referee's warnings. He attacked Kevin Owens viciously, causing chaos at ringside. Nick Aldis has a reputation for being a no-nonsense GM, and he may decide that Fatu has gone too far. Possible punishments for Jacob Fatu: a fine for his actions, a suspension from next week's SmackDown, a one-on-one match against Kevin Owens as punishment. But here's the problem. Can Nick Aldis even control Jacob Fatu? Fatu doesn't follow rules. If Aldis tries to punish him, Fatu might just unleash even more destruction. 2. Solo Sikoa, the leader in question. Solo Sikoa has been trying to hold the Bloodline together, but Nick Aldis may hold him responsible for his group's chaos. He failed to control Jacob Fatu. He lost the match after being distracted. Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu are already questioning his leadership. Nick Aldis might argue that Solo needs to be held accountable. Possible punishments for Solo Sikoa: forced to defend his position as Bloodline leader in a match, banned from ringside for next week's main event, put into a gauntlet match to prove himself. But if all this pushes Solo too hard, could this be the moment that Solo fully turns against WWE's authority? 3. Tama Tonga, the silent rebel. Tama Tonga didn't cause the chaos, but his hesitation in the ring might make Aldis question his place in WWE. Is he truly loyal to Solo Sikoa? Is he secretly planning to leave the Bloodline? Will Nick Aldis use this as an excuse to put Tama in a tough spot? Possible punishments for Tama Tonga: forced to face Solo Sikoa in a Prove Your Loyalty match, booked in a match against LA Knight as payback for the loss, kicked out of the Bloodline if Solo Sikoa sees him as a weak link. Tama Tonga is unpredictable, and if Aldis pushes him too far, he might finally snap, potentially leading to him turning on Solo Sikoa once and for all. If Nick Aldis punishes the Bloodline, it could be the final straw for the faction. The Bloodline is already unstable, and if Aldis adds fuel to the fire, we could see Jacob Fatu fully turning on Solo Sikoa, leading to a Samoan civil war. Tama Tonga walking away from the Bloodline, abandoning Solo. Solo Sikoa snapping and attacking Nick Aldis, leading to full-out war against WWE management. This SmackDown moment wasn't just a random mistake. It could be the beginning of the Bloodline's downfall. Nick Aldis has a choice to make. Does he punish Jacob Fatu and risk unleashing more chaos? Does he hold Solo Sikoa accountable and possibly break the Bloodline? Or does he let things slide, hoping the Bloodline destroys itself from within? Regardless of what Aldis decides, one thing is certain. The Bloodline's days of dominance might be numbered. The WWE Universe is waiting for SmackDown next week, eager to see if Nick Aldis takes action, or if the Bloodline's chaos continues unchecked. Either way, SmackDown just got a whole lot more dangerous.